close it. Please, take your time.
All right, buy something, will you? This stuff's heavy.
You ask who's to blame for this doom?
I know who was responsible for this. It's the poor. They've summoned these monstrosities to take Westmarch for themselves.
I keep hearing things. My mind must finally be going.
Is something on your mind?
Yes. I've noticed your Templar friend is somewhat distracted these days.
Oh, nothing could be further from the truth.
Oh? I see you looking at Arena every other moment.
Oh, it's just the way her hair catches the sun. It's very bright.
I can't believe we're still alive. And it's all thanks to you. I thought we would die in that foul-smelling place.
Well, the world's under attack and people are dying everywhere. It must be time for us to go on another adventure, right?
It is good to see you again, though it seems like we are only brought together in the worst of circumstances. But I suppose if times were better, we would never have met. For a moment, I heard one of my sister's voices. I could not make out the words.
That sounds like magic. Or melancholy. I cannot tell which.
My sisters are gone now, and I am the last memory of a world long since forgotten.
There are many who do not forget the dead, Irena. They serve a purpose, as do we.
It is good to see you again, though it seems like we are only brought together in the worst of circumstances. But I suppose if times were better, we would never have met.
Did you know there were once two moons? Lyria is the one that is no more. I think it's time I told you the whole story of Zai and his master, the god of desire, Durgist.
I thought it was a secret.
Durgist's jewel has appeared again, and the time for secrets is over.
Then I will finally know the truth.
Have you been eating enough? I've noticed this about you. When things get difficult, you get very focused. Maybe I'll cook for you. So, if it's all the same, we'd probably both be happier if I didn't.
Why would the angels do this to us?
What are you saying? This is obviously a demon's work.
After years of my pleading, the Angiris Council has finally agreed to send me in search of Malthael. I will not fail in this, as my master's presence is sorely needed in the high heavens. Owing to Malthael's growing fascination with the humans, Tyrael has suggested I begin my search on Sanctuary.
That is not possible.
I once thought nothing could defeat the army of West March.
That needs to recharge. I need a corpse. I cannot do that. I must have a corpse.
Glory.
I must have a corpse. That is not possible. possible. I need to go back.
Attacks are getting worse. They'll reach the survivors soon.
That is not possible. I must have a corpse.
We've been here for days. These people can't last much longer.
Head to the survivors' enclave. You'll find safety there. I'm afraid not. Weakness did not kill them. Who did? Corpses.
Death to the nobles!
Just what are you doing?
Revolution! It's time for our oppressors to fall. The king is in the city, but we have a trap waiting for him.
Too many have already perished. Lay down your arms.
What? You're not with us? Then die with our enemies!
That is not possible. I need a corpse.
Winton, we are thrilled that you have located a surviving regiment of soldiers. With this new force, we can turn the tide and save our city. Your disagreements with the Crown are well known, but we are glad you can put them aside in this dangerous time. Long live Westmarch!
Do that.
Evil has been rebuked.
That is not possible.
We'll rip these brutes to shreds. About that for a while. Just seeing these things walking the streets of West fills me with rage.
I need... your help. Do not let your emotions blind you.
I will not. pay for what you've done to my city.
That needs to recharge. I need a corpse.
Is a safer place.
I must wait. I need a corpse.
Some of my men are pinned down in the courtyard, fighting revenants. Please help me rescue them.
I must wait.
Do you know why this is happening? It's madness!
It's a battle. Lead your men to the survivors' enclave at the cathedral. Ave obitus, Ave interitus, insurgos elistros in situ. What are you doing? I'm summoning back the souls that have been stolen from these poor people in order to restore their lives. You are too ignorant to wield this magic. Now I shall have to make amends.
Wait, what's that noise? This wasn't supposed to happen.
I need a corpse. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I must wait. Wretch, go now, and spare me your foolishness.
Of course. Oh, of course. Bless you, good sir.
That is not possible. That is not possible. I require a corpse for that.
The annual parade honoring Rakis used to come through here.
Give it more time. That is not possible.
An incredible feat.
That is not possible.
Of bones, commonly called the Plague Tunnels, were originally used to bury Westmarch's indigent. However, when the Great Pestilence struck, the city decided the tunnels would serve just as well for plague victims, lest Westmarch become overwhelmed by the ever-increasing piles of the dead.
That is not possible.
Can abide you no longer.
That is not possible. That is not possible.
The grave beckons. A glorious challenge awaits over there.
You seem to fight harder now that your mind is free.
not possible. I cannot do that. Give it more time. I must wait. That is not possible. I'm afraid not. I cannot do that. That needs to recharge.
Very bad feeling about this.
I must wait.
dangerous with most of these, you know.
Call me a fool, but I just couldn't bear to leave all these things behind in my store.
Good to see you again. Never thought I'd come back to the city. But you've made it safer in here. So I'm setting up shop. Happy to help.
Don't leave me behind! Not again! Someone came for me, after all this time.
The blacksmith heard you down here.
Bloody miracle! Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I owe you both.
Follow me.
At long last, a hero comes.
My library isn't far from here. I was closing everything up for the day when I heard the fighting in the streets. I barred the doors and then squeezed through the back window to escape. But I'll have to come up with something more exciting when You've heard the legend of the Tomb of Rakus, haven't you? Its location has never been found. Most guards think it's underneath Westmarch, but I suspect it's somewhere outside the city. Rakus was a clever man, after all.
We stayed to fight, Robert and me. But he fell. And when they started to tear into him, I panicked. I ran.
Many of the survivors here have suffered the same. You should speak to them. So the Herodrim have returned.
Tyrael rebuilt the Order to help him take the Soul Stone from heaven, and to protect mankind. After all, you can't be everywhere at once, no matter how powerful you are.
Progress.
The sliver is still connected to the Soul Stone. As the stone changes, the sliver will change too. Therefore, I can observe what Malthael is doing to the stone, and if we're lucky, even discover his plan. Malthael, my brother, he was wisdom, leader of our council. First among angels. And now, he has become this.
How?
After the destruction of the World Stone, Malthael's mood darkened, and he left the heavens frequently. Then he disappeared completely. He must have developed a connection, no, an obsession with human souls.
He was never meant to explore the domain of death. What would Rathmus say if he were here? I have read spells about crucibles that could enslave the dead. Now angels are using them?
Sadly, yes.
And the Death Maidens as well.
Their story is as tragic as Malthael's. Once the vanguard of his wisdom angels, they followed him down the path to darkness.
What?
Did you grab the jewelry at least?
Harold, those monsters were about to kill us.
Well, I would rather be dead than poor.
Remember that noise I heard? It was that lad you rescued.
I'm Bryson. I came here to see your friend.
Huh. And now he won't go away.
You don't feel responsible for him?
No, I'm responsible for myself. Though I have decided to repay Hadric by helping him.
And I told you to stay away from my forge.
I grew up over by the docks. Not the good part of town, but it's what my parents could afford. They died when the plague swept through a few years ago, within hours of each other. Like they had to stay together. I used to hate them for leaving me, but now it's a relief they didn't have to see all this happen.
That needs to recharge.
not find Malthael on Sanctuary, but I did find humans. Far too many of them. They murder and cheat one another while allowing their brothers to starve. If their true power is ever released, we are all doomed. They have a choice between good and evil, and they overwhelmingly choose evil.
Give it more time.
Is using the Crucible.
There is no place for her in our world, so let us help her leave it.
That is not possible. Give it more time. I'm afraid not.
Thank you. I knew you would arrive in time to save me.
Did you?
I am Miriam Jazia, a seer of the Vetchin people. I foresaw our meeting, but I did not see this horror. I have come to help you. There is one crucible left, and if you destroy that, the maidens will not be able to create more. There is no time to waste. We must be on our way now.
I can't believe it's this bad.
Malthael, he's watching you.
I grew disgusted by humanity during my time on Sanctuary. When at last I found Malthael, I was not surprised to learn that he felt the same way. We will cleanse creation of the scourge that is humankind, And when we are finished, the tragic mistake of Anarius will be gone.
You should join the rest of the survivors.
Nonsense. You'll protect me. And after experiencing what those things do to people, let's just say I need to see you destroy the final crucible with my own eyes if I am ever to sleep again.
That is not possible. Give it more time. I'm afraid no longer.
What's over there?
What a monster!
Monstrous creature.
I see you have much guilt over Leah's fate.
How do you know that name?
I see the past as well as the future. You must not let it consume you. You shouldn't be so dour. You have much to be joyful about.
I don't revel in joy as others do.
I have learned that in terrible situations it is better to laugh than to cry. Perhaps when you have lost as much as I, you will understand.
I need to go back.
this the future of our world?
Give it more time. That needs to recharge. That is not possible. No.
A wandering hero? just in time to protect me as I grab these last trinkets. We'll split it, eh? This looks promising. Keep watch. If I get eaten, I blame you. Ah, nothing. Ah, nothing.
That needs to recharge.
Oh no, I'm dead.
I must wait.
This is the one. I can feel it. Thanks for keeping me alive. Here's your share. I'm off to find the nearest abandoned tavern.
What about you? What brought you to take on the responsibilities of the world?
I am different from other mages. The priests of Rathma found me. My gift.
Your death nears!
You are such the artist when it comes to dispatching Death's minions. Don't mind me. I'll just be waiting over here.
A wise decision. We won't allow any harm to come to you.
is not possible. What was that wretched noise?
That would be Urzael.
And?
Urzael is the angel who commands Malthael's forces in this city. I think you made him angry.
I have that effect sometimes. Tyrael should hear of this. I am returning to town.
Those who perish without embracing Malthael are eternal.
I hope you're not my last customer.
Only the best for you, sir.
Prepare for the worst, my brother always said.
Could it be that the Prophet abandoned us? Why else would his magic fail to protect us while we slept?
It worked for you.
But my sisters died. Why them and not me?
It could have been chance. Or a deliberate act.
I must know which. I will discover the truth. When I left my sister Lysa, I took her magic focus as a reminder. I scryed it today to see if it held any clues, and I found strong traces of the demonic magic that killed her. It reminded me of the Fisherai's magic from before we served the Prophet.
That is strange. Did anything else happen?
When I cast the magic upon her focus, I heard her voice again, and this time, I understood. She said one word. Irena.
Mother warned me about the poor. They want my wealth, but they don't want to work for it. And now they've created an army of death creatures. Well, when I'm king, I'll just show them. We're not going to die, are we? Tell me we're not going to die. I don't want to lose my soul!
Oh, I can't believe it. My best hammer's gone missing. It couldn't have walked off on its own now, could it, lad?
One of the men needed a hammer. He promised to return it.
Fool boy! I'll never see it again!
I'm sorry, Hadrig.
Get out of my sight.
I don't feel like talking right now.
There's no easy way to say this, but I have to leave, and I won't be returning.
Is this your new joke?
I'm serious. My brother's imprisoned in Kingsport with no way to defend himself, and I must free him.
You would never make it there alive. Westmarch is still overrun.
All right. I'll stay for as long as I can, but only because I know how much you need. It's time for me to go. My brother will die in the Kingsport dungeons if I don't act now.
A Kingsport prisoner, you say? Those poor devils were all transported to our cells in Westmarch last week. But we haven't heard from the garrison since the attack started.
Edlin, I have to find him. Will you help me, my friend? Right then, this is where they're holding Edlin. Let me do the talking.
Looking for your brother, Lyndon?
He knows you. That is no guard.
Damn it all! The Thieves Guild always finds who it's looking for. Unfortunately for you, he's our friend.
Thieves Guild infiltrated the entire dungeon?
You really angered them, friend. You bastard!
That is not possible. That is not possible.
You die for what you did to Nigel!
Edlin! He's
gone.
I never should have joined the guild. He told me, but I wouldn't listen.
He was dead before we arrived in Westmarch. I can see the signs.
That dagger looks very familiar.
Take it with you. There may be more to this than we know. How are you faring, Lyndon?
What do you want me to say? That I wish he'd never known me? That I wish he'd had a brother who didn't fail him?
That you will try to find the truth.
You have no brothers. You've never loved anyone. You could never understand.
I heard Tyrael is an angel. Why isn't he helping Mother?
Who said he is?
Telling you about Lyria, wasn't I? She was so beautiful that Durgis was determined to make her his own. Oh, yes, he pursued her relentlessly, showering her with gifts and attention until she succumbed and agreed to become his wife. But Durgis' jealousy was so great, he hid Lyria high in the heavens, far away from the reach of men and gods.
His obsession with desire drove him to abuse?
Yes, that was Durgis. Desire was his very nature. Zai was the greatest thief, and he wanted Lyria. He waited patiently for a night when Lyria's path hid her behind the sea. For when the sun set, Durgis had
Is this truly the work of angels? I don't understand. How could they?
They have never cared for our kind. But these are the first to act against us. I will handle them.
Good.
You are a quiet sort, Serena. Sneak back home and fetch some of our savings.
But the streets are crawling with those horrid creatures.
That's precisely why you must go, dearest. Nobody notices you.
been agitated ever since he mentioned the woman. Who was she? Did she start the fire?
Looking for something. Something hidden.
I don't know what to do. He's getting worse. I fear he will not live much longer.
We need to get out of here. Hide in the bog, anywhere. As long as it's away from the cities.
And now I hear those Reapers are taking people's souls? This is madness!
Why fight so hard? Thousands are dead. What do another dozen matter?
After Corellan's death, the crown passed to Justinian I, through a somewhat convoluted interpretation of Zakharum's scripture. Thus began the Justinian dynasty. Seen as usurpers by many, the Justinians suffered nearly constant challenges to their rule. Finally, during the reign of Justinian III, a full-fledged insurrection broke out in the outlying region of Tartarus.
If you hadn't come along when you did, I don't know what might have happened.
It was the least I could do. Anyone would have done the same.
But you didn't have to help. You could have run right by.
My father was the commander of the Knights of Westmarch. He assumed I would become a soldier, just like him.
Why didn't you?
I grew up on stories of the fearless Horadrim, Tal Rasha, Jared Kane. That was what I wanted to be. My father thought it was all myth. Wasn't he surprised when I actually became one of them? Tyrael told me of your actions. You killed Diablo himself.
Yes, but I had assistance.
I don't know that the world will ever understand what it took to face such pure evil.
The world will always have some evil in it, but it never could have withstood so much. It is better if people remain ignorant of such things.
Can I ask you about Deckard Cain?
He was unlike anyone I ever knew. A normal man on the surface, but with a heart for all the world and everything in it. His death was a great disruption in the balance.
Could one man make such a difference?
Always. Your soldiers have been holding out for some time.
It has been a brutal task. A lot of good men sacrificed themselves to save us. But even that wasn't enough. If you hadn't shown up when you did, we might already be dead.
The rest of the kingdom should have sent reinforcements by now.
Have you not heard? Cities everywhere are under attack. No place is safe.
Yes, Malthael strikes all across Sanctuary.
Unfortunate.
Look, the sliver is changing.
As though Malthael is manipulating the Soul Stone.
Exactly. He's been gathering strength from the souls of Westmarch in order to alter the stone. Yet his purpose still eludes me.
He's killing everyone. What more do you need to know?
How he plans to do it. Westmarch is only one battlefield in this war.
Urzael has done this to finish collecting the souls of Westmarch.
Where is he?
All I know is that he is in a tower somewhere in the Westmarch Heights, and that he will be quite rude to you. Before you set out to kill him, you should stop by my cart. I can enchant some items for you.
Death comes to all.
What can Malthael do with the Black Soulstone?
I have been thinking on that since our encounter, but every scenario I envision simply doesn't make sense, regardless of what he has become.
Even he would not dream of unleashing the Lord of Terror, would he? Your wounds are deep, aren't they?
I have felt pain before, but nothing like this. It is different being mortal. The pain wears on you.
I'm sure you have carried greater burdens. Malthael doesn't intend to kill you, does he?
I may be mortal, but I am not Nephilim. I have no demon blood in me, and therefore Malthael does not see me as his enemy.
We humans also possess the blood of angels.
That is of no consequence. You are half demon to him and therefore on the wrong side of the eternal conflict.
Did you know Urzael?
He is Malthael's lieutenant, much the same way that Iswal was mine. He does his master's bidding without question.
Did you ever consider destroying the Soul Stone?
The Black Soul Stone was made by a man, unlike previous Soul Stones. We had no idea what would happen if we destroyed it. It seemed a better idea to hide it away forever. We had no way of knowing that Malthael was watching us the entire time. How could we?
Someone is always watching. What will you do if I recover it?
I don't know. But it's better for us to have the stone than Malthael. If we make it that far, we'll worry about what to do next.
Geldo, how sweet of you to ask. My people, the Vetchin, are nomads, always traveling, looking for the land we might settle. All of us have the sight, but few have it as strong as myself. You know, men have always pursued me for my visions. Well, for things other than my visions. But everyone wants to know what the future holds.
My duty is my future.
So serious. Just because you're fated to save the world doesn't mean you shouldn't have a good time. What else can I tell you? I had a vision of death blanketing our world, so I left my people, my family, to come help you.
All priests of Rathma make a similar sacrifice.
It was no sacrifice. We Vetchin often receive visions telling us when it is time to find a new family. I've had many in my life. I still love and miss each and every one of them. Except for Jonah. I never really liked that one.
I don't suppose you have other insights into Urzael.
Well, he seems to have an affinity for fire. I'd watch out for that if I were you.
Is that all?
Urzael was sent to find Malthael by our friend Tyrael. He blames himself for what Urzael has become.
Wish I could go fight.
before they do this to the entire world. The idea.
That is not possible. I need to go back.
We have to do something. Tyrion's probably leading those bastards right to us.
Just because Tyrion's an angel doesn't mean he's